Hey there everyone, my name's Kyle Stinson and this is the day in the life of Bell Let's Talk. Let's get started. I like to get my morning started with a good workout. Gonna start with a good stretch this morning and then hop on that deathly thing. Hustle's on. Gotta keep off that quarantine 15. And always got my sports play. Only 10 more minutes to go. Now it's time to freshen up for work. I gotta get some love in with the cat first. Hey Iris, say hi to everyone. I usually try to keep my breakfast simple at the beginning of the day, just the essential food, vitamins, everything you need to get started. I always got my coffee. Now, I used to drink way too much coffee when I first got into working in an office, and I realized on weekends I was getting headaches and I didn't know why. Turns out my coffee intake was too much. So if I need to pick me up throughout the day, I'll just sometimes make a green tea, but I always start with one coffee at least a day. I always got an egg with either avocado toast or just egg and toast, and then an orange. If you haven't read this before, I highly recommend it. Food is just good for the soul, good for the body, good for the mind. What we don't realize is that what you're putting in your body is going to affect your physical health as well. This book is just by Sean Francis. He is the CEO at Medcan. Medcan is a Canadian privatized healthcare. And it's incredible what you can actually do to help your mental health just by eating the right food. So highly recommend the book. It's a quick read. Each chapter I think is a couple pages and it teaches you a little bit about exercise, mind and body and food. As you can probably tell, my wife and I like to read. So other than this book, Eat, Move, Think by Sean Francis, there's a few other ones that are kind of good from a mental health standpoint. I would say that Rewire Your Anxious Brain, this Empath Survival Guide. Let's look at a few here. Subtle Art, I'm not going to read the rest of that, but The Courage to be Disliked. Those are pretty standard. Those are the ones that I have found quite a bit of value through. I read nonfiction. My wife is all about fiction, but sometimes I sucker her into the odd nonfiction, and both see benefit through reading. Knowledge is power, and as long as you're always reading and continuing trying to be a better person, you can help in your day-to-day for sure. All right, off to work now. It's a good thing that my commute is all of 5 steps. Look at that, we're at work. So this is my setup. I think that it's important. If we're always sitting all the time, it's not good for our health, physically, mentally, anything. I made the investment into a standing desk just because I'm going to be working from home for the foreseeable future. Not everyone can maybe afford a standing desk, or it's just not really, maybe it's not their style. So what I recommend though is that a couple times throughout the day, 4 or 5, just as much as 4 or 5, get up, walk around, do something within your house. It's not healthy for the body to sit as long as we do when we've been working from home since beginning of this pandemic. Also, as we all know, as Canadians, we haven't seen Mr. Sun in some time. Yeah. Well, Canadians are very deficient in vitamin D. So I always take vitamin D supplements because obviously we haven't seen the sun for the past 3 months. And not to mention, I also bought one of these just off Amazon. It was all of 25 bucks. And what it's going to do is give you some, not natural sunlight, but some vitamin D sunlight, and just kind of lifts up my mood as well. That way I don't feel like I'm working in a dark, dingy room all day long. important to give yourself a couple breaks throughout the day. And the case today, gotta do some chores. Snow is not gonna shovel itself. It's definitely important to take breaks, clear my mind, make sure that, I'm not spending too much time behind the desk. So I typically like to go for a walk. I'm an empath at heart, so I find that when there's stuff going on in the world like COVID-19, we're spending so much time indoors, not able to see friends and family at this time, that I like to use the reference that my cup is kind of low. So to fill up my cup, I got to do things. I got to go outside, be immersed with nature. I'm fortunate enough that I get to live near the lake because I get a beautiful view like this. And something as simple as just coming to the lake, because I'm an empath, kind of helps me fill up my cup. That way, I can go back in, start working again, and be fully charged. All right, it's lunchtime. Voila. A nice healthy lunch, because we're trying to stay fit, right, Iris? Yeah. After lunch most days, if I don't have back-to-back meetings, I'll take at least 20 minutes really just to read through a chapter of whatever book I'm reading. So this book here is Let My People Go Surfing by Yvon Chouinard. Yvon Chouinard is the founder, CEO, everything of Patagonia. I think he's a fantastic person. He talks about sustainability, the work life, that environment that he wants to promote within Patagonia, talking about how he pretty much, if there's a day that there's a swell, there should be no restrictions in letting your employees go surfing. He's a huge advocate for mental health, sustainability, as well as just the environment in general. And 10 out of 10 recommend this book, and just taking time out of your day to just read even just a chapter a day. All right, that was a long work day, but after a long day, hard day of work, what I like to do is I'll jump out of these work clothes and I'll either do a quick yoga session or meditation. I just find it helps me switch my brain off of, go mode with work into you're at home, time to relax, decompress from the day so we can get recharged and back at it tomorrow. So. Around this time, my wife finally gets home. And it's dinner time. On the weeks that my wife and I are just too busy, sorry, Iris is very nosy, we'll do a little bit of meal prep for the week. So my wife and I, we made this beautiful lemon chicken soup that my wife is clearly enjoying.
It's so good.
It is so good. And when we do have time, we'll cook together, clean together everything. And nice way to just decompress. And wherever there's food, you'll find Iris. God, does it feel good to have hockey back. Woo! Let's go! All right. Then it's off to bed. Whole new day tomorrow. Well, that was the day in the life of Kyle Stinson, Bell Let's Talk edition. Good night, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep smiling.